This video started with a question from one of my subscribers. Shout out to Ish the Main 4 who asked, can you talk about making enough money and losing your drive? Right now I'm dealing with making good money, but losing that purpose that kept me going in the beginning. Man, let me just tell you, I felt that. I think if you're watching this video, you've definitely been there as well. This is something that so many people go through, but almost nobody talks about. You grind for years, you finally get some traction, money's coming in, you're doing well, but then you hit this invisible wall. The passion is gone, the urgency has faded, and you start asking yourself questions like, why doesn't it feel like I thought it would? And what's next? I've been there several times. Looking back at my career, eventually I got to the point where I was making $15,000 to $20,000 or more a month like clockwork, damn near part-time in my business. So I was living large, having fun, and originally I thought, man, when I just make 100K, no, make that 200K, everything in my life will change. And what I learned from that is this: making money can solve a lot of your problems. But if you don't replace what I call your survival drive with something with a deeper sense of purpose, then you'll start drifting and self-destructing along the way. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly why this happens and how to reignite your drive without falling back into burnout or chasing empty goals that no longer fulfill you. If you're new here, I'm Christopher. I became an entrepreneur at 20, made my first million by 25, and now I share hard-earned lessons to help conscious entrepreneurial professionals such as yourself to reach their next level of productivity, peace, and prosperity by upgrading their internal and external operating systems. So now let's jump in. Let's talk about how to get your fire back. You made money, now what? I first want to talk about why people chase money in the first place. We chase money because we want freedom. We want freedom from bills, freedom from stress, freedom to do what we want when we want. But here's what nobody is going to tell you. Once the bills are paid, once you get that comfortable lifestyle you've been looking for, you're going to hit a wall you never expected. And then the thoughts creep in. Why do I still feel empty? Why don't I care like I used to? Is this it? And I want to let you know you're not wrong for feeling that way. You're just experiencing what I call the achievement hangover. It's the moment where the chase ends and you're left sitting with yourself, not feeling like you thought you would. And what most people don't realize is that their original motivation came from pain. You wanted to prove something. You wanted to escape something. You wanted to never feel that way again. But now that you're comfortable, that fire inside is gone. And what replaces it? Well, numbness, distraction, restlessness, low-level dread constantly behind the scenes. And maybe you feel like you're even questioning everything right now. Like, what is this all about? One of my mentors has a story he likes to share that humans are like working class dogs. If you give us something to do, we'll behave the right way. But when we have nothing to do, or in other words, no purpose to pursue, we're going to dig holes in our own yard and tear things up in our environment just to find something to do. Here's the truth. When you finally get what you thought you wanted all along, and it doesn't feel like you had hoped it would, it forces you to ask a deeper question. What do I really want? Like actually? And this is the turning point. This is where drive needs to come from a deeper purpose and a bigger vision, not survival. And by the way, just in case, I have a free process for creating that vision down below in the description you can steal. But for the sake of this video, let's unpack this. You didn't lose your drive. You just outgrew your old one. What used to push you, the pain, the fear, the scarcity, it doesn't quite hit the same anymore. But the problem is you're in limbo because you haven't built a new internal compass or new fire to drive you. And here's why this happens. You were operating before on survival fuel, and it's like emotional jet fuel. It's fast, it's explosive, it's powerful, but it burns out and runs out quickly. Survival fuel gets you off the ground, but it can't sustain long-term fulfillment or a long-term flight, let's say. And finally, when that fuel runs out, you feel lost because all of your systems and all of your drive, your goals, your habits, your mindset were built to function under pressure. And now that that pressure is gone, everything feels off. And this is a really dangerous place to be if you're not conscious of it or you don't know what's going on, because you'll start subconsciously creating chaos just to feel motivated again. You'll sabotage your peace because pressure feels familiar. And before you know it, you're back in survival, not because you have to be or really wanted to be, but because it's what you're used to. So I want to ask, what if the next level of your life doesn't require you to grind yourself down again or create chaos? What if there's a different kind of fuel that you can pull from? One that's based on vision, alignment, and emotional clarity. This is where I encourage you to go next, and this is where I'll be taking you here in just a second. The reason why is because if you want lasting drive, you need a better reason, not just more money, not just more stuff. You need a why that feels like a fire in your chest, that's different from the emotional pain or the survival mode you were in before. I've heard it called being in alignment with your assignment, knowing exactly where you're headed, knowing exactly what you want, knowing who you're becoming, and that sort of thing. And it gives you a way deeper sense of purpose and more drive than money or pain ever could. So I want to just make this clear. Here's how you can start to find that fire again. Make space for stillness and spirit. Stillness is going to be the cure for your confusion or lack of clarity. If you're feeling lost, it's not because you don't care. It's because you've been too noisy or things have been too noisy for you to hear what you really want and what the infinite has to share with you. My personal belief is that we each have a greater role and purpose to play on this earth, one that involves you using your unique talents, gifts, and wisdom to help your fellow man. And there's no better feeling, speaking from experience, than knowing you are fulfilling your purpose on this earth and living in alignment with that and your truth. So to quiet the noise and to find your clarity so you can find that fire again, here's what I recommend. You want to take a break, you want to journal, go offline, sit in silence, meditate, and pray. Or if you want to take it to the extremes and really find your next steps in vision, you can do what's called a vision quest using something like plant medicine, which I've done before. And it helped me to find my purpose and more about myself and what I'm here to do. So it was by doing a combination of these things, taking a break, doing some journaling, going offline, sitting in silence, meditating, and praying, as well as using plant medicine and psychedelics to expand my consciousness, that I was able to find my next steps. At first, it wasn't crystal clear, but answers slowly began to come. Or as they say, I started to walk and the path revealed itself. Let your next vision come to you and through you, not just from your ego or what society wants, but from your soul, from your deepest essence. And when you align your life to that, not only will you get abundance, but you'll get deep fulfillment and drive along the way. And that leads us to step 2, which is set a new target. If there's one thing I know about you, it's that if you don't have something to aim at in your life, you feel lost. You feel worthless, helpless, kind of defeated. Like you really need a mountain to climb, something to aim yourself at. And if you want that lasting drive, you want to get that old drive back and not lose it in the future, then you need more than money to light it on fire. You need what I call a North Star vision or a North Star to guide you. Not just make this much money or hit a new level, but something that's a lot deeper inside of you. So you want to ask yourself questions like, who do I ultimately want to become? What kind of impact do I want to create over the course of my life? What kind of lifestyle do I want to live? Like actually, if money wasn't a problem, how would I be living my life? And lastly, you want to really get clear on how would it feel to be in full alignment with all of those things. In other words, how would it feel if you were working in the way you want to, living in the way you want to, creating the impact that you want to? That's when you'll know you found the gold, when it feels very, very powerful. And then when you start to kind of orbit your life or align your life with that vision, you're no longer going to drift. You're going to move with a sense of purpose and power. You're not going to have to chase anything anymore. That North Star is going to literally pull you forward throughout your life. And it's from that place that we shift from this idea of discipline and grind to more of devotion, because you have something that you want to commit your life to that gets you out of bed every morning and means way more to you than just money. Now, money may be a part of that vision. Material things may be a part of that grand vision, but they're not the only thing, because those temporary external things are just that, temporary external things. They're not going to be as fulfilling or as fun as that deeper sense of fulfillment you'll get when you know that you're creating life on your terms and living it by design, rather than default, which is survival mode, or what society wants for you, which is never going to be fulfilling. So that's how you stay lit without burning out. You set a new target. You create that North Star, something that challenges you, something that serves other people or allows you to step into your purpose, and it aligns with the ideal future self and lifestyle you want to create. Because when your goals and vision not only stretch your skills, but they also align deeply with your soul, you'll stop needing that external shiny object motivation. You'll feel pulled towards the thing rather than needing to push yourself. You don't need to grind harder. You just need to listen deeper. and figure out what this new target is for yourself. So the takeaway really is to build a meaning-driven life, not just a success-driven life, whatever that even means. So here's a truth that nobody's going to tell you. Success without meaning is a shiny hamster wheel. You can make good money and still feel miserable. I've heard this saying, some people are so poor that all they have is money. You can build the perfect life and still feel disconnected from it. Some people's lives look amazing on the outside, but feel so shitty on the inside that they're slowly killing them. And you see this all the time. Super successful people take their life, and you're like, what the hell? This guy had everything. Well, they didn't have what really matters, which is that sense of meaning and purpose. So what do you do now? You need to rebuild from the inside out and start asking yourself questions, like I said earlier. What kind of life actually excites me now? Not based on the past, but what do I actually want now? Who do I want to help? How do I want to help those people? What's the story I want to be telling about my life and the impact and everything that I've created 5 or 10 years from now? And when you start doing that, you'll be pulled towards those things rather than pushed. They're going to light you on fire and you'll stay lit. Because you've evolved, now it's time for your goals and your vision and the deep purpose you have to evolve too. This is your opportunity to move from achievement to really alignment. And when alignment and achievement are combined, that's when you get true abundance. Better impact, better fulfillment, a better lifestyle, better use of your time, creativity, and gifts, and better drive. The game is not only about chasing more, but about building better. And that starts with defining a clear vision for yourself, which you need to go within to find. And then money and all those other things, they'll just come along for the ride with you. So it's not that you needed to find your drive again. It's just that you needed to aim it in a new direction, one that's way more compelling than money. Reconnect with what you want your next level of life to be and make that your new reason for being. And because of that, you're going to be pulled instead of chasing. You're going to feel so on fire that you're pulled towards the future versus having to chase something or be motivated to make it happen. It was never about going back to how it was. It's about rising into this new person that you're called to become and what you're called to do next with your life, which you can find by following these 2 steps. So if you've been feeling burnt out, stuck, directionless, even when you're making great money, this is your reminder. There's nothing wrong with you. That's just how the game goes. Society sets us up that way. You're just ready for your next level. So now your take home is it's time for you to align your vision for the future with who you are now, where you are now, and where you'd like to go next. And if you'd like help with that, it's one of the first things that I do with my clients, creating a big, audacious, and aligned vision to drive them, along with helping them to install the right systems that make accomplishing that vision a piece of cake. You can book a call with me down below if you'd like to learn more. And also, don't forget, at the very least, grab the free vision creation process I've left in the description. That's going to help you to take what you learned today and put it into action. We don't like mental masturbation around here. We take action on the shit that we learn and we make it happen. If this resonated, like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I want to remind you that I'm rooting for you and I fucking believe in you, my friend. So this time around, don't build for survival or for other people's applause. Build for alignment. I'll see you in the next one.